The following program contains names, places, and events that have been anonymized or fictionalized for the purposes of protection and safety. The following program is provided for entertainment purposes only, and any commentary from the hosts are strictly conjecture and should not be held as making any definitive statements about the truth or identity of any particular individuals or circumstances. If you or a loved one are involved in an abusive relationship, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 for support.
And here we are, we're live.
Alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic.
It's never gonna leave your brain, is it?
It hasn't since you brought it up. Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Another Monday of the Dating Detectives.
Are you? I'm a lot for some people. It's fine. My mother-in-law, she was talking about how she was watching me online, and she goes, "I just can't watch you for very long. You're exhausting."
Oh my God.
She said, "I get exhausting. I'd get exhausted just watching you on your videos."
That's a compliment, I think.
I know. I was doing a live video, like a makeup tutorial, and somebody said, the parts where you get manic, I just don't understand. And because I just move so fast, and like, because I'm trying to do the makeup, but also answer the questions, and my ADHD brain is like all over the place, but I'm still trying to get everything done. It's wild. But she called it manic, and she goes, "No, I love it. Like, I think it's great. I could never do it." But it's, anyways, this is my baseline because I don't drink coffee. So a lot of people.
Yeah, I cannot imagine you on caffeine. No, never step foot in a Starbucks.
It's a riot. When I'm on coffee, you guys, imagine this times like 12. It's bad.
I had some Red Bull last night, and I was like, I didn't even have a whole thing. I had a sip, and I was, woohoo, a little crazy. But
same thing when I drink too, though, because I don't drink.
I've seen you drunk. You turned into Tony Robbins. You were like, "Girl, you are so much more powerful than you know." I loved it.
It's going to be so fun.
Anyway, I was going to say, if anybody's ever listened to us on like 1.5 speed, sometimes I'll listen to things like sped up, but I can't listen to our podcast sped up because we already talk so fast. And so many people love to shit on female-driven podcasts and be like, they talk too fast. They're just gossiping. It's like, that's why we're here, guys. We're two girlies that love storytelling and love dating and love talking to people about dating, and also giving a platform to important stories about dating. That's my transition into more serious.
Yeah, and I want to speak to that also about when people say we're just gossiping. You guys, listen to this, okay? So the last couple episodes that we have put out, we've had a great, crazy, great response to them. And especially to the OnlyFans pimp, you guys. So what happened was we started realizing that people were kind of messaging us saying, "Hey, I think I might be talking to this guy. Like, I think I might be dating him or whatever." But it turns out after vetting them, we found out that it wasn't the same guy, which tells us there are more people like this OnlyFans pimp out there doing the same exact thing. And that's scary. So this is more than just gossip. Like, this is, we are like opening doors, you guys.
It made me emotional. Like so if you haven't listened to the OnlyFans pimp, please go listen.
Both episodes.
It obviously shed a light on something that we didn't even realize was happening so much: digital trafficking. And it seems like it needs to be talked about more. So thank you to everyone who's reached out, whether it's with like information or resources. We talked to some people who work in anti-human trafficking spaces. And then, yeah, if you or someone you know feels like they're going through something like this, they're obviously not alone, which is a bummer. A lot of people write us and they're like, "Oh, we want to make sure, like Livy and Chloe, for example, like have resources or like get legal whatever they need," without disclosing the specifics until we're able to. Like, we're not dropping these cases once we release the episodes. Like, we will keep talking to our guests and supporting them however we can. And we want to think of more ways to support them. I mean, we're not even a year old. So if anybody, in terms of maybe setting up a Dating Detectives fund organization, I don't know. We don't really know much in the nonprofit space yet, but it's something we're interested in.
there are needs that need to be met, and we want to do what we can to help these people that are experiencing these things. And I think at first we just wanted to share the stories, but now we realize that we want to help. We want to do more. And so a lot of our listeners
need a place
do too.
to tell these stories.
Yeah. And so many of you guys have said, hey, I'm willing to contribute. Like, I want to help. And I just think that's so incredible. Like, you guys are just freaking insane. You guys are amazing. We love you so much. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff coming down, and we're kind of opening some doors, like I said.
And Patreon will definitely get updates. We know some people are just dropping in for some episodes and maybe don't want all the details, but if you really want the dirt, Patreon will definitely we'll drop it all there. We'll tell everybody as well, obviously. But
yeah, join the Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You get 2 bonus episodes. And actually, there are a ton of sometimes it's even a ton of little mini episodes. So you kind of get like an extra bonus there. And we do like the lives and stuff where we can all connect. So join the Patreon and just keep listening, keep sharing, keep writing in your stories. We love to hear from you guys, and we love to give you a platform where we can share these things.
As important as those stories are, one of my friends, going to shout out Leo, he said he started listening to the podcast and he was like, I got to tell you, those Mackenzie Undercover episodes, I can't get enough of them. And that's what we have today. So this goes out to Leo, Mackenzie Undercover episode for him.
Thank you, Leo, for being a friend of the show. So the Mackenzie Undercover episodes, you guys, these stories are true as they can be. You cannot make this up. Over the last almost 2 decades of being a private investigator, I come across some experiences, and
you don't even realize that they're as crazy as they are.
I don't. My job is to document what these people are doing, period. It's not my job to determine if what they're doing is right, wrong, indifferent. It does not matter. My job is just document it and report. It's like, that's why I always say Paul Blart. Because he's like, observe and report. Literally, that is not my job to determine if it's right, wrong,
You're
or
a lot hotter than Paul Blart. Just so you know.
I don't know. Kevin James is like a man crush to me. Like, he's good looking.
He has he has an energy. Riz, as they say.
Doesn't he remind you of my husband?
I think your husband is, well, no,
like
I don't know.
That funny, like the funny...
Yeah, he's funny and charming for sure.
And he's cute, and I just think the sarcasm and the comedy is there. It's just like overall personality. It's just so funny.
I take it back. Shout out to Kevin James. Come on the
show. You're hot, just not as hot as me, per Hannah. We love you, Kevin. Anyway, so let's get into it. Okay. So all of these, I think so far, every single one of them have started off with, so I get a call. So this guy calls me, and he calls my phone. Like a guy calls me, not a woman. It wasn't a woman saying, my husband's a cheating bastard. It's a husband this time. It's not a wife. And of course, he says, I want to do surveillance on my wife because I think she could be cheating on me. Not really sure. Have no proof of anything. No idea. Like, I have like kind of this gut instinct. You guys, we call that femtuition. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so to kind of give you a little summary, this is kind of a upper middle class family, well-to-do. They live in a nice home. They have some children that are, elementary age, and they are just, he works, and the mom is like a stay-at-home mom. Like, she
doesn't work.
No, she doesn't work. And they're just a little, regular family. Like the Cleaver beat. What do you call it? Leave it to Beaver. Yeah. Yeah. June Cleaver, right? Like, except like modern day. And so that's their family. Okay.
How long had they been together? Do you know? Long enough to have kids in elementary school.
Yeah. I think they had been together. Like, I think they just celebrated like their 15 years or something.
Wow. Okay.
This guy calls me and says, listen, I think my wife's cheating on me. I don't have any proof. I don't have anything solid, but I just want to see what she's doing. And so that's interesting because, like, a lot of times Well, here, when I tell them on the podcast, of course, they're the ones that are the crazy stories, right? But sometimes it's nothing. Like a lot of times I don't catch anything ever. Not to say they're not doing something, but I just don't every time catch someone doing something.
Sometimes they're just planning a surprise birthday party, maybe.
Right. Exactly. So he says, I feel like my wife is cheating on me. I have no proof. I have no whatever. Okay. So of course I go through the whole thing of, tell me why, tell me your experience. And he says, well, she's just actually weird. And sometimes she's gone for hours during the day, and he works in an office. And so he doesn't monitor it all the time, but he notices that like their Ring camera would he would see her coming home and like she wouldn't call him or anything, which he's like, it's not like she's like has to stay home, but she just, if she leaves, like she doesn't really tell me. But normally if she goes to the store, she'll be like, oh, I've got to go to the store and I've got to go to the post office or whatever. And he says sometimes it's just weird times. And I don't want to ask her because I don't want to accuse, but also it just feels really weird. Femtuition, gut instinct. So the wife, she drives a grocery getter, just a Ford Explorer. She takes her kids to school. They're like, I don't know, they look around my Sunday. So I guess they were probably 8, 9 years old. They go to an elementary school. So there's young kids. She takes them to school, and the one day that I did surveillance on her, this is what I saw. So I don't know about every other day. I only did the one day. So she drives this nice, grocery getter's mom car, soccer mom. She's got the stickers, the stick figures on the back with like, the
classic.
little boy, and he's whatever. So she's got her stick figure family on the back and takes the kids to school. And this one day that I did surveillance on her, she drives to kind of like a shady part of town. And it's over in the Clearwater area, which if you're from the Tampa Bay area, you probably know what area I'm talking about. But it's over in Clearwater, and it's like Clearwater's a nice area, like down by the beach or whatever, but more inland. There's some kind of areas that are not very like safe. It's got a lot of high crime, whatever. Not very, like you could walk down the street and see like needles and stuff like that.
I was
like
going to
that
say,
kind of area,
are we
right?
talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of one of those like shadier areas where you don't just hang out. Okay. So she goes to the shady part of town, and my instantly like this kind of like suburban mom, just like soccer
I'm
mom.
imagining her car with the stick figures driving through a shady part of town, and it's making me giggle.
And like it was weird. Like the kind of neighborhood she's from, and then driving into this neighborhood, my spidey senses were like, some ain't right. Like this doesn't, like the math ain't mathin', right? Like she doesn't really belong here, I guess. Like I don't know what else. Like she just doesn't belong there. So my spidey senses are going off. My gut was on fire. Like I was like, something is not right. Like this is like something isn't good. And so I'm constantly like, when you follow these people, you have no idea where they're going. So you just have no choice but to stay on them and just follow them, right? My femtuition, like my gut was burning, something is wrong.
You're like, I don't like
so,
it.
Yeah. So she parks at this Walgreens on the corner of this main road, and she parks on the side of the building, like way past the prescription pickup. So if you've ever been to Walgreens, you know how the prescription pickup, like drive through, wraps around the building. And then the front door is like on the very front of the building, but she parks in the back. So like way behind the prescription pickup, like not close to the door. So I'm like, why is she parking back here? And so I'm like, is she meeting someone? This is the type of area where like, there's a lot of cops around here. Like people get arrested a lot. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's doing a drug deal, right?
That's
like,
what I'm thinking.
I was like, yeah, like you'd think she's parking here. I'm like, she's going to do a drug deal. I was like, this mom's doing the dope. Okay. Like, what is she doing? And so I'm just making all these assumptions, but I'm just Paul Blart. Okay. So I'm just watching. I'm just waiting. She sits in her car for about 5 minutes, and you can see that she's like, she has her visor down. So she's like fixing her makeup and stuff. And I'm like, she's fixing her makeup for a drug deal. All right. Listen, whatever. Do you, boo? She gets out of the car, okay, and she walks away, like away from the car, out of the parking lot.
Oh, so she's just using that free Walgreens parking.
Yeah. So, but why? And like the rest of the area is like, there's not much around here. It's like kind of like it's residential. Like it's not. I have no idea where she's going. So I'm like, where the hell? Like, where's she going? She's wearing cute leggings and like a matching like sports bra outfit with like a shacket and like a cute little tennis shoes, whatever. And she's like walking away, like out of the parking lot, like all willy nilly. And I'm like, you forgot your car. Like, where are you going? Like, what? Like, and I'm looking around thinking, where could she freaking be going? Like, what's going on? And I'm scared for her because this neighborhood isn't the best. Like, I'm like, what if, I don't know. Like, I just imagine all these things happen. Like, she's going to get mugged or something. I don't know. So
what would happen
I just
if you watched some, like, you know how documentary filmmakers aren't supposed to intervene with their subject? Like,
yeah.
what would you do if you were like, oh no, she's getting mugged, but I'm not
Call
supposed to be here?
911. Like,
oh yeah,
I
that
will,
makes sense.
So they could.
You don't have to get
So-
out and like beat them up.
No, but like if it was life or death, like I would absolutely defend someone. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I had the ability, like I absolutely would. And I would be totally justified in it, like as a human. Like,
Yeah, it's like separate from your case.
yeah, so the private investigator license covers, but like if something happens, I'm going to be able to justify and be like, look, I was on a case, but I'll blow my cover to save someone's life or to help someone in danger.
Yeah.
Like I would never let anything crazy happen. But it's kind of a line. A lot of
That's
people
so
ask me that, like,
scary.
what do you do if someone's in trouble or how do you help them?
We are so excited to tell you about Delete Me. Delete Me is a program that finds and removes personal information that you don't want online, and it helps you protect yourself and make sure that it stays off. So it's really great for people who are victims of identity theft, harassment, scamming, dogfish. Yeah, it's a way to take a little bit more ownership of your privacy to protect yourself, because I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know what's out there about me. Like, I didn't know how much was out there until I used this.
I don't think people realize how much of their personal data is out there just all willy-nilly on the internet for anyone to see. It's more than you think. It's your name, your contact information, your home address, information about your family members, coworkers, people you work with, you guys, associates. And these are basically being compiled by data brokers and they're sold to the highest bidders online. So basically anyone on the internet can get your private details, and that can lead to the identity theft and the dog phishing, harassment, spam, stuff like that. But you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. And I just want to make it clear, as a private investigator, although this is a huge resource of mine, is the World Wide Web, I do support protecting yourself and protecting your information. And that's what I love about Delete Me.
We've been able to help some of the guests who have come on our show get set up with Delete Me, because it's definitely something that we feel like people who are dealing with harassment like can use to just get their address wiped. Like, it's just a good thing to do if you feel like you need to protect yourself. And yeah, like Mackenzie said, we want this to be a resource for people who want to protect themselves. And anyone who exists publicly too. Like, I don't want people to come to my door. So that's why we personally recommend Delete Me.
So Delete Me is basically a subscription service that removes your personal info from the largest people search databases on the web. And in the process, it helps prevent those things that we're concerned about, identity theft and dog phishing and all of that. So this is not exactly like a catch-all. This is not guaranteed to take everything you've ever done or experienced in your life away, but it absolutely is a great place to start. And it's a great way to kind of just start eliminating some of your info off the web. You sign up and you provide Delete Me with exactly the information you want deleted, and their experts take it from there. Delete Me sends you regular personalized privacy reports showing what info they found, where they found it, and what they removed. And it's not just a one-time service. It's always working for you, constantly monitoring and removing the information you don't want on the internet. Delete Me does all the hard work, wiping you and your family's personal info off the web.
Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners. So today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/TDD and use promo code TDD at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/TDD and enter TDD at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/TDD, code TDD. Quick pause, because I want to talk about cereal. Growing up, cereal was one of the best parts of being a kid. It was definitely my favorite food, but then I stopped eating cereal so much because it didn't fill me up, and I would eat like 12 bowls of cereal, and then I was like, I'm not even full. But let's talk about Magic Spoon, which changes that. It's the best cereal. And it's so great that we wanted Molly, our producer from behind the scenes, the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, except better because she actually does something, to come and tell us about Magic Spoon, because she's honestly been eating the cocoa flavored Magic Spoon the entire time we've been recording. Molly, how is it?
I have been sitting here eating this literally the whole time. It is so good. I've been eating the cocoa flavored Magic Spoon cereal.
And we were skeptical.
We were very skeptical. When I first got it, I did not have high expectations because this cereal has 0 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs.
Always skeptical.
Always skeptical, yeah. 4 net carbs and 13 grams of protein. So I was like, this is going to taste like chalk.
Wait. Really?
14 grams of protein, Mackenzie.
It's like,
can you believe that?
I want to try it.
I know. Well, we're sending you some too.
It's only 140 calories a serving, high protein, 0 grams of sugar, keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, and soy free, which I'm excited about because I'll be real with everybody. Soy makes me gassy. So love that.
So there.
Let's
Thank
just
you
keep
for
it
your
real.
honesty on this ad. I want to try it. Oh my gosh. How many flavors? Are there other flavors?
You get a variety pack, 4 flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter.
Do they all have the same amount of like protein and like high protein,
Just
low
about.
carbs?
Yeah.
Between 13 and 14 grams of protein. They're so good, you guys. I could eat these all day long. And I really feel like eating a bowl of this will like fuel me for my day and make me ready to take on the day.
It's yummy and it makes me feel like a kid.
So yes, it's so fun. It's bringing the fun back to
There's
breakfast.
a maze on the back of the box. There's a little game on the back of the box. It's great. So you should try Magic Spoon and let us know what you like. My favorite flavor is peanut butter, I think. So go to magicspoon.com/TDD to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code TDD at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, start your day off right with a delicious bowl of high-protein cereal at magicspoon.com/TDD and use the code TDD to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. It's really magic. It is.
But anyways, for now, I'm just like imagining the worst and watching this, little prissy girl. She's walking out of her car and she's just like strolling along, minding her own business. And then she gets to like the corner of like the main road on the opposite side and just stands there. Do you see where I'm going with this? She's on the corner. She parks her car at Walgreens.
She does her makeup. And then she
does
stands
her
on
makeup
the corner.
and then walks to the corner. And I'm like, where is she? What? Like, and you can't picture it in your head because like, she's like this like middle class suburban mom. Like she just dropped the kids off at school and now she's going to stand on the corner. Like many times when you see someone standing on the corner, these are people who are like turning tricks for drugs or whatever. I mean, there's many different reasons that sex workers do what they do or whatever, but I'm thinking she's about to turn a trick. Like, I guess, like, go mom, whatever. Like,
in
I
the
didn't
middle
know.
of like broad daylight in her little Lululemon getup.
Yes, exactly. So just picture it, okay? So then she's standing there for like, it was no more than 5 minutes, like 4 or 5 minutes, I think. And this guy pulls up in like what I can only describe as what looked like a 1989 like Buick LeSabre, like this old like hunker junker. And dude he looked like Mr. Penguin from Batman. Do you know who I'm talking about? Like
God, the penguin, yeah. Oh no.
So imagine this guy looks like freaking Mr. Penguin from Batman. Like he's and like Humpty Dumpty like mixed. And so I'm like, what is this guy? Like, so she gets in the car in the front passenger seat. Okay. Like the dude pulls over and she gets in the front passenger seat. And I'm thinking like my mind is like, hello, stranger danger. Like, what are you doing?
That's Penguin. We've all seen at least one Batman.
Yeah, like he's a villain. I'm like, stranger, like I hope she knows him. Like maybe that's her dad. Maybe her dad just stopped and whatever. Like you, Hannah's face was just like, yeah, okay.
I don't like that, even if that is what it is.
Thank you, right? So she gets into this car and the car starts to drive away and I'm panicking because I'm like, well, I gotta follow them because that's what I do as a PI. And so I start my car like I'm going to follow, but then they pull into like this dirt parking lot that's on the side of like an auto mechanic shop or something, like a tire shop or something crazy. And listen, there is no like privacy be damned. Okay. There's no, like, this guy doesn't have one like a window tent. He didn't sit behind like the bushes, like, and there was like larger hedges that he could have like parked in front. None. So he's just sitting here, right? Like
in front of God and everybody.
In front of God and everybody. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just stay in this position because I can see her car. I can see his car. I can see them at the same time. I can see him sitting in the driver's seat. And then I couldn't really tell because they were a little bit further away by this point. And so I used my camera and I zoomed in. Like my camera is like 80 times, 90 times.
She has like if you're new, a camcorder, like the old fashioned.
It's like a Sony Handycam. It's like, it's small and it like, anyways, it zooms in a lot. And you could see like straight through the car window and Hannah has her hands on her face like she's terrified.
I'm like, oh, does the car start shaking?
So I'm watching this guy and he's very round, like he's very barrel chested and his chin is down to his neck and chest. Like he's just like, so you can see how big he is. So you can't really tell what he's doing, but you see his shoulders like kind of shimmy a little bit. And then before you know it, all you see is the top of her head and then the top of her head and then the top of her head.
Yes.
And
yes. I love that he's
red as a tomato.
I'm like, oh, imagining it. But I'm mostly imagining the shimmy you've described of him just sitting there like.
It was almost like he was, I don't know if he was like taking down his pants or something. Like I imagine your shoulders would,
this
like
wasn't
if he was like
his ongoing response. Okay.
No, it was like I
Probably
saw
was.
him like shimmy his shoulders and then I saw the top of her head like just the top of her head. And I was like, this is really happening here. Like if you don't have a very good imagination, she's bobbing for apples in this man's life.
Oh,
so boy. Yeah, so she's I don't this guy looks
Mackenzie's
like Mr.
also red.
Listen, this guy looks like Mr. freaking Penguin. And I'm like, okay, like you do what you got to do, boo. But like the husband makes really good money. Like, yeah, she's married. The husband makes good money. They live in a nice home. Like, I don't even know if this is something she's doing for money. I can't say that because I don't know.
I didn't. This is just where he
for
picks her up for their fun. The penguin and the yoga
the penguin and I.
Mom. Oh my God. The penguin and the yoga mom.
The penguin and Lululemon mom. Lululemon and Mr. Penguin.
Lord. All right.
I do not know if this is $4. I never saw an exchange of money with my own eyes. But I can imagine I am not like juicing any Mr. Penguin's pickle for no dollars. Like absolutely no. Not that I would do it for any dollars, but you know what I mean? Like you'd have to at least pay me. Like
oh man. I can't decide if I like hope that she is doing it for that or not, because it's like you're a married woman. Obviously this is naughty, but why? Why? So So
why?
What is the reason? Remember that video of Cardi B where she's like, "What was the reason?
What was the reason?" Yeah,
that's how I feel.
Oh, I should stitch that. That was so funny. Okay, so she's in the car for like 15 minutes. I can clearly see what she's doing the whole time. Like, obviously not clearly. Like, you can't see like the slurp. What you?
Yes,
we're bobbing for apples. It's fine. So after she's doing whatever she's doing with her head bobbing up and down for several minutes, she sits up in the car and she's talking to this guy. And they're having like just a conversation. Like she's talking, he's talking, like this is back and forth. Like there's a volley here. Like it's not just her, not just him. Like they're having a legit conversation. And then she leans over and passionately kisses him, like makes out like 100% fully. Like
there it is.
Yeah, after the whole bobbing for apples shenanigans, and now she's making out with this guy, right? And in my experience, as someone who has witnessed a couple of these, like this is not my first shindig, right? Like I've seen this before. They typically don't kiss the fella after. Like normally it's just like they do the thing and then they leave. Like they just they
shake hands and
yeah, like they're thanks, dude, and whatever. I've seen this. I can tell you probably at least 10 times I've witnessed this on surveillance. I've witnessed a sex worker doing her thing, right? And never have I ever seen them kissing. I guess not to say they haven't, but whatever. So she's kissing him. So now I'm imagining, I'm like, I wonder if this is like her boyfriend, right? he's like, I don't know, 67 and she's like, 34. It's fine. Like, it's fine.
Maybe she's
Age is
new
just a number.
and doesn't know that she doesn't have to do that. Or maybe he paid extra. I don't know. Maybe she's an
he paid her
intern.
extra. I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that car and just like heard what was going on in there. And then also I don't. So it's fine. So they're having a conversation. She kisses him. She pulls away. And you can see that she's like flirting with him. She's kind of laughing and talking. And she's like, okay, see you later. So she gets out of the car and she's flirting and she waves goodbye and she's blowing kisses and smiling and being all prissy, like kind of like you would if it was your boyfriend. Like, okay, bye. I love you.
Love you.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, he's paid you. Like, go now. Which again, I don't know if he really paid her. She says goodbye to him. She walks all the way back to her car. Like, he leaves. So I don't think they know each other, because wouldn't he just like take her to her car? And if he knew her, like, she'd be like, yeah, this is my car.
It's
and they would
obviously a sketchy pickup situation.
yeah, like, it's weird. Like, if she knew him, then she'd be like, this is my car. I'll get in your car. You get. And by the way, her car had tinted windows and hers did not. And he was just like on the side of the road with like not behind a hedge, no tinted windows, no nothing. Like, everybody and their mamas could see driving by what was going on if they looked for 3 seconds or longer. Like, it's just wild.
Maybe he
So
likes
anyways,
that.
So we're still assuming at this point, again, observe and report. I don't know all the details, is all I know. So she walks back to her car and she's sitting there for a little while before she leaves. Okay. So and you can kind of see the visor flip down again. And you can kind of see she's piddling around in her car, doing something like, digging in her purse, whatever.
I'm like, oh no, is she going to prep for another round with another?
I know.
With the
I was
Joker?
like, is this your job? Like, your all day thing? And so she, surprisingly, I thought she was going to stay there and like pick up another John or whatever. And she leaves. And I'm like, is she going to another location? Like, what's going on? Whatever. So I'm just kind of watching. I'm waiting to see what she does next. I follow her and she does mom stuff. She goes to the gym. She gets groceries. She picks the kids up from school. She goes home. I imagine they go inside and like bake cookies, like a regular like
wholesome.
Suburban mom. Yeah, so wholesome, right? So
She just had her
I'm
mid-morning BJ and then on with her day.
But again, like, it's none of my business what she does. Like, it's only my job to document her, right? So and a lot of people ask, oh, you don't call the husband right away? No. And here's why. Because if you call him and then he's in a panic and he's in an uproar and then he's calling her and then everybody's panicking and then now she knows that I'm on her. Now she might come after me if she finds me or spots me or whatever. And if I tell him and whatever, it's just not a good situation, like safety wise. It's just to keep everyone safe. So I typically try not to tell them right away. So my client comes home and tells me that, to leave, whatever, the surveillance is done. He's paid me what he's going to pay me. And I say, okay. And I say, I will call you tomorrow and set up a time we can meet up so I can share with you what I found. And again, I know no one wants to hear that. Like, they want to hear right away, no, like, what happened? But now he's home with her and like, you never know.
Oh yeah, he could go off on her.
Yeah. And then like, what if he gets violent and like a fit of rage because I've told him or whatever, right? So,
Yeah,
I mean, you think that's smart, right? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And also to do it in person is like nice too. I feel like especially if I don't know if you share video of the evidence. Do you?
Yeah. So so I called him after the full day of surveillance and asked him to meet with me in person. And we met up. And of course, I show him the video. I show him what I obtained and the information and everything. And by pulling him to me personally, I feel like I'm someone that he trusts now because I have the information. So I'm someone I usually feel safe. Like, I don't feel like they're going to go off on me, but it gets them away from the person that they're going to, show their anger toward. So it helps keep that person safe. It gives them time to process. Yeah. So that's why I kind of like to meet them in person, even though they don't like it a lot, but it's the only way.
I want to hear what he said when you showed him.
There's liability too. Like, I don't want anybody to be like, well, because of her, like somebody died or something. Like, I would feel like my heart would break.
I feel like my feed on social media is constantly pushing ads for customized beauty, like customized hair, anything that promises like drastically transform or my skin will never have a pimple again. I was skeptical, but when Prose says custom, I'm realizing that they're the ones that actually mean it. It's not a gimmick. I'm so excited that I get to talk about them because my hair, that the custom hair products I got from Pros, I've never used anything that's worked on my hair like this. So it's made to order and personalized custom hair and skincare. And it's a unique blend of naturally powerful and proven effective ingredients that meet your needs. So they do a consultation. They analyze over 80 factors for complete view of your whole beauty goals, all your beauty goals, but also your life and the way that you want to use products, like how often you're going to use heat and style and stuff like that. So I think that's important to include. So you do this consultation online, and then it customizes the formulas, truly personalizing them for you, which is cute because it sends them with like your name on the bottle and what it's for, which is so cute. So I definitely deal with like dryness and dry texture with my hair. And I also have straight hair that gets very thick and like it doesn't get curly and cute. It just gets big if it's not weighed down or straightened or something. So I got very personalized shampoo and conditioner that does hydrate and feels like it makes my hair just shiny and easier to work with. But I got a hair mask that I use before I shampoo that is game changing for the hydration. So that was a must. And then I also got styling gel because when I have dirty hair and it's oily and I want to use that to my advantage and like sleek it back, I didn't have any gel products that weren't like ripping my hair out of my scalp or being toxic. So I wanted to try some kind of styling product that was custom to me and that I could trust was like good quality and not going to damage my hair. And it works. And I sleek back a little bun or a ponytail sometimes. And I'm like, who is she? And I just love that it was able to like add products based on my styling needs that were also made with the same goals in mind that my washing products are. In a third-party double-blind dermatologist-supervised controlled clinical study, aka the gold standard in research studies, proved that personalization works better than off-the-shelf alternatives. So try it for yourself and get your healthiest hair in just 30 days or your money back. Pros is so confident that you'll love your results that they're offering our listeners an exclusive trial offer so you can see the difference custom care can make. 50% off your first subscription order at prose.com/TDD. That's PROSE.com/TDD for your free consultation and 50% off your one-of-a-kind formulas. Prose.com/TDD. Let me know if you try it.
This episode is brought to you by Factor. Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals make eating better every day easy. You guys, I love the Factor meals because, first of all, I have ADHD brain 100% of the time. And when I want something to eat, I want it now. I don't want to cook anything. I just want to pop something in the microwave. And this is a great option for that. You can have pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. You have over 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie, and more, which, as you guys know, I'm on like a weight loss journey. So I really appreciate that they kind of took that into consideration. There's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. So Factor has basically 2-minute meals. You can fuel up fast with Factor's restaurant quality meals that are ready to heat and eat whenever you are. Praise the lamb for that. I'm a busy girl. I just need something fast. Snacks, smoothies, and more are also included. You have a wide variety of easy options for the entire day. So like breakfast, midday bites, snacks, and more. And when you sign up, you can save. So we've done the math, and you guys know I don't like mathing. So they did it for us. I'll just be real. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. Like I said before, they're really, really good. It's the perfect solution if you're looking for fast, upscale options done easily. So think freezer meals, but like much more upscale and much more tasty. Get as much or as little as you need by choosing 6 to 18 meals per week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your deliveries at any time. There's no prep, no mess. So if you're kind of a lazy girl sometimes like me, Factor meals are 100% ready to heat and eat. So there's no prepping, cooking, cleanup. I love it. Head to factormeals.com/TDD and use code TDD to get 50% off. That's code TDD for the dating detectives at factormeals.com/TDD to get 50% off. What are you waiting for? Get started today and have a feel-good week of meals ready to go. So anyways, we meet in person and I want him to have time to absorb it, calm down a little bit.
Yeah, what does he say? Does he like cry? Does he scream?
I show him
like,
the
who
video.
is this penguin?
I know, right? I show him the video. He does tear up a little bit. And he is like, he's as confused as I am. He's like, did she do this for money? And I said, I don't know. And he said, I don't understand. She doesn't need the money. Like, what is she doing? Is she with this guy? Well, I had run the tag number of the guy, and he himself is married with a family and, you know, like has a home and all these things. Like, he's pretty well to do, which I don't understand, because why are you driving in this hunk of junk like 1989 like
beat
freaking
up
serial killer car? Anyways, this guy was really sad. Like, he was so confused. Like, he totally did not understand what was going on. Like, he's like, I just don't understand. Well, what was interesting was what he told me after talking to him longer. He said, what's interesting is that she has an insurance claim where she's trying to sue the insurance company for a car accident or whatever because of a neck injury. And I spurted out. I said, well, her neck ain't broke.
You're like, I don't know what she was doing, but I know the neck was involved.
I said, well, there ain't nothing wrong with her neck. And he was like, I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know if it's fraudulent. She says that her neck hurts, but she doesn't really like show it a lot. And she only wears her neck brace when she goes to the doctor. So I think maybe she's lying about that too. So now all of these wheels are spinning in his head. Like, if she's doing this,
what else is she doing?
What else is she lying about? Right. And that was the kicker, was that she is like suing for insurance fraud. And that was the one thing that I think like saved his spirit a little bit, was because it was funny. But he ended up going home and sharing with her what he had learned. She denied everything. He said that she was like, that never happened. I was at the gym and the grocery store. And he was like, dude, I literally saw the video of you with Mr. Penguin. And she said, no, that wasn't me. That's not true. And he said, no,
it's my evil twin.
Like, he's like, I could
girl.
literally show you the video. You took the kids to school and then went and gave a BJ to Mr. Penguin in the parking lot of a like rundown auto mechanic shop. Well, anyway, she denied it, he said, for a couple days. And then finally she said, okay, that was me. Are you going to divorce me? And he's like, well, you're cheating. Like, you cheated on me. Like, I don't understand. Like, have you done this before? And he tried to ask her and she just denied. But he said, obviously there was something going on for him to want to call me to begin with. So he thinks, and this is what he has determined based on her denial and based on her, like, after putting everything together and kind of pinpointing what made him suspicious before, even though he said he didn't have proof, was that he got a call from the school one time saying that the kid was sick and they couldn't get a hold of the mom. And he said, why couldn't they get a hold of you? And so he starts thinking of all little things like that. And he was like, where were you during that time? And she was like, oh, I was at the gym. And he's like, when you go to the gym, you have your phone in your hand and you're playing music. Like, you wouldn't have missed that. And
right.
I know how you are when it comes to the kids. And when you're at the grocery store, your grocery list is on your phone. So I know your phone is in your hand. And like, he said that she just kept making all these excuses, right? So he was like, all of these times where I'm looking back and thinking, what was she doing? Now he knows, in his heart of hearts, he knows that she was out.
She was running a small business.
But he doesn't, to this day, he doesn't understand why. They did separate, but they got back together. So they're, as far as I know, they're back together now.
Oh my.
They separated and she filed for custody and she was going to get full custody. And based on the court reports and based on what he said, I think that he was going to lose his kids and that's why he got back with her. Yeah. And so all he could say is, well, I guess if she gets money, I get money. Like, if she wins the lawsuit about her neck, he's like, I'm not going to say anything because if she gets money, I do. And I think what he was wanting to do was he wanted to use that to kind of bolster his legal case and get a good attorney and all that. But it would have been so funny if they put me on her case for like liability.
Oh my goodness. You would have had to be like, trying to be professional as you describe Mr. Penguin.
Could you imagine? Can I tell you how many surveillance reports I've had to write where I've had to describe a weird situation, like a drug deal or a sex worker doing their thing, or the reports are, and you have to, when you write the surveillance report, you don't just say she got into his car and gave him a blow job. Like, she didn't just give him a blowy. You have to say, like, it to be professional. I would say she entered the passenger side of his vehicle, and over the next several minutes, I witnessed her head coming in and out of view above the view of the dashboard, like something like that. Like, it can never be like
tremor of his shoulders.
He was taking off his pants.
Wow. Well, I can understand him wanting to go like back. So if she is doing this, he wouldn't want his kids to know, I'm sure. You know,
well, can we talk about how she gives this guy a blowy and then kisses him, first of all? And then if she's willing to do that
in between.
And not even a stick of gum or a Mentos. And so, or Altoid something. And then she goes back home. And then like later that day, like, could you imagine, like, even if you brush your teeth and like wash your mouth out with soap, like, I still wouldn't want to kiss her.
No,
and like,
I mean,
what if she's doing this continually and then she's kissing him? And like you said, the kids.
It's also very dangerous to have any kind of sexual partners that you're not disclosing to other people. So,
but she was being safe by parking her car far away, so maybe they couldn't follow her home.
No, I'm just talking about like sexual transmitted infections and stuff.
Oh yeah, STDs for sure. But like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like if you can avoid strangers, if you can avoid putting your mouth on strangers' pickles, maybe we should do
pickles. That. Yeah.
Maybe they're friends. Yeah. We don't know. I don't know. That's all I know. And so I asked him, I was like, let's do more surveillance. Like, let's see for sure. Like, can you use this against her in court? Whatever. And he's like, no.
Say, wouldn't you be able to?
He doesn't want his kids to ever know. So that's why I think that's another reason, was because like he never wants his kids to know that side of their mom. And like, a lot of people would be like, well, your mama did this. And the fact that he's like, no, I will never out her no matter what, because he's not thinking about her. He's thinking about his kids. And so I think that's really cool of him.
Very strong.
And for someone. Yeah. And a lot of people, like I said, they'll talk crap about the other parent just to make themselves look good, or just to, get what they want, like custody or whatever. But he was willing to go back and endure the pain, knowing that she like hurt him in that way, doing something so gross, and then like just stay with her for the kids. Like that's a man who's all about his kids right there.
I am curious about, okay, so we don't have any proof that she's doing this for money.
Besides our common sense, no.
Besides common sense. But I would be interested, like, if she randomly starts spending money that he doesn't know where she's getting it from, or like if he'd notice any weird financial stuff. Obviously, it doesn't sound like he did, or at least didn't show.
He didn't, and you know what? That's a good point, because I asked him. I said, "Are there any weird, like, even before the case?" I said, "Is there anything weird with like your finances or anything?" He goes, "No." I said, "Is she like opening credit cards you don't know about?" He said, "No. Like, she doesn't really buy anything crazy." Like, and so I just think
what
it's
is
really.
Does she just love the penguin? Like, maybe this wasn't. Maybe she just really, really loved this, and it was just.
And maybe it's the same
passion.
Penguin over and over. Like, maybe it's the same. But this is the whole reason that I couldn't really make even an educated guess on it, was because this is a corner that is very, I don't know, it's kind of common to stand on to kind of do sex work in that area. And so I couldn't tell if it was like a coincidence or like, but how do you know? Like, how do you, like this fella is obviously like experienced, because how does he know that she's just not like waiting on the bus or like waiting for a cool breeze or like, you know what I mean? Like
just taking in the scenery.
What does a sex worker look like? Like, how do you know? It's just like a vibe you get or something. Like, I don't know. What if he's like a regular? I still had so many questions, but that's why I want, like, a lot of people think I'm trying to like scam them out of money whenever I'm offering to do, like, I'm like, we should do more surveillance. Like, and they're like, no, like you know,
I don't want to pay for that.
A lot of people are like, you're just trying to get my money. And I'm like, no, I just need to know what happened so I can sleep tonight. But thanks. Like,
this is just for mental health.
I'm genuinely just nosy. I cannot tell you how many hours of free surveillance I have done just to know. Like, I've told them, like, this is on me. Like, I'll take care of this surveillance for you just so I can know. Because I have to get their permission to like do the surveillance. And so
Yeah.
if I do it pro bono, like at least I get to find out. But I've done so much free surveillance just because I need to know what happens next. But then after several years, like you kind of start to learn that like your
You're
time
not
is
always
money,
going
boo.
to.
Like
Yeah. Well, if you feel like doing a little Google search to see if they're still together, let us know.
yeah, I did look, but there's no divorce decrees or anything. And last I heard, they had separated but gotten back together. And there's no public records about the custody or about anything. So I believe, if I had to guess,
They're together, I bet. Well, okay, so the facts are Mama, right before she went to the gym, went to the seedy part of town, had a little fun in a car with the penguin man, kissed after, no exchange of money, then went about her day.
Yeah.
Admitted to it, but we don't have proof
Finally.
of any kind of prostitution.
But
I'm
she
curious
never
what people
admitted that
think.
she never admitted that she was taking money from him. She said,
Right.
She said, yeah, I hooked up with him. And then she called him a friend.
Who thinks this was a genuine, passionate affair with the penguin? Who thinks this was an exchange of goods? I'm curious.
I think exchange of goods, but I want to know. So we need to take a poll for sure.
That kiss, you said it yourself. That kiss was not the usual for that. I mean, unless the penguin just really has
but why?
something
Like,
special.
Why do you kiss him? Like, don't kiss. And then like, just let it be. Like, if it's just like a, hey man, I'll take care of you. What? And like, he didn't do nothing for her. Like, if I'm gonna do this for freeze, then like you got to do me for free. You know what I mean?
It would
like,
be crazy to think that you would drive all the way there just to do that for freebies.
yes, for like just for funsies.
But I don't want to knock
know.
what anybody's into, but I would, yeah, that's a lot of work. That's a
also-
job with no benefits, baby.
Yeah, but also I want to make it clear, like, we ain't knocking sex workers here. Like, do you, boo? Like, do what you need to do. Like,
Just maybe don't do
life.
it when you're married and lying about it, because then you're a dogfish. That's the thing we're knocking.
A dogfish. And a lot of people are like, can you just call him and ask him what happened? You guys have no idea how hard it is for me not to be like, okay, so what happened? Did you guys like end up staying together? But like, I don't know. Like, that's weird, right? Like, what if he's trying to forget it and then like I bring it back up? And what if they've gone to counseling? Like, I don't know.
You're a professional. You respect, but that doesn't mean we can't deliberate
But
amongst ourselves.
I have spent years losing sleep because I don't know what happens. And it's awful. It's the worst. Someone asked me the other day, they said, because I was talking about that on my Instagram about like not having closure. And they're like, can you share some of the coping mechanisms you use for like not getting closure? And I'm like, there's no coping mechanisms. You just deal with it. And then you drink heavily. I'm just kidding. I don't drink. Whatever.
I feel like that's a funny thing, because it's like most of us are dealing with not having closure in breakups or relationships. Yeah. You feel like you have no closure in your relationship with all your clients.
No closure. Like literally after like year 2 or 3, I had to stop like obsess. Like I would obsess like what happened. Oh my gosh, like what happened after that? And I'm someone who's very passionate about things, and so if I want to know something, I want to know it. But how, like we need to know. Do you guys think this was like a
does anyone
funsies?
Have you ever seen a woman that just fits this description out with a man who fits the penguin description? Do you know this couple? Are they still out there? Have you seen this? What was it? A Buick beat up
LeSabre? I don't know. I don't know cars.
Let us know if you spot them.
If it was a Buick LeSabre, I need a Buick. I need to Google. Hold on, I'm going to Google.
You're asking the wrong. Where's Justin?
I know.
He needs to
Where's
come back
Justin
in after the mattress.
Hold on.
Miracle Made ad.
There's a 1999. Yes, that's the car. That is exactly like.
Can you show me?
I don't know if it's like a 1989, but that's it.
Hot.
Like I don't know if it was exactly an 89. But
that
that's
car
like
makes me want to get in and have fun, baby.
It's like it's a beater
sexy.
for sure. That is not a sexy. Like I wonder if like the AC even worked, because like in 1989 for sure the AC doesn't work. And can you imagine like ball sweat and you're trying to do the nasty?
What's the least sexy car for a man to drive?
That one.
What do you guys think?
The least sexy car. Well, we know what the The worst cars is the Audi because
Yeah,
Mr.
we've had a lot of Audi dogfish.
Yeah, Audis for sure. That's like the playa.
I drive a Prius, guys. Is that okay? I feel like that fits my personality.
It fits your little parking space too. It's perfect.
My tiny parking space. Y'all.
You whip it in there so good. I like that little Prius. Your little parking space is perfect. I drive a giant Titanic bus. It's fine.
I love your Freedom Wagon. I imagine you don't have stick figures on the back of your car, given that you have to do surveillance.
No stick figures. I am still doing surveillance, so I still got to keep it. I got to keep it cool, but
I'll have to go watch her latest video about when she did surveillance in a school drop-off line. That was so funny.
Oh my God.
Funny. And anyway, wow. I'm still recovering from that. I want to know. I do feel a little, man, you teased, but that's all right. Now we have to go through this process with you.
Do you see what I mean? Like, how hard is it? Like, you want to know, like, did she get money for that? Like, I need to know if there was a significant, like, deposit in the bank account. Like, and then I have so many questions. And, like, he said, like, she is absolutely not on drugs. Like, not in the least. Like, I just don't even think there's
that was my initial thought. I thought maybe that was her side hustle. Maybe she was
like, I thought so too.
Creative
But
salesman in that department.
But you can always like look back on it and go, oh, I see now. But when you're following someone to where they're going and seeing what they're doing, like you don't know what they're going to do. And then you can look back on it and go, oh, okay, I see why she did that move now. And I see. But like in the beginning, like when you're just following them, you're like, what the hell? And most of the time, to be honest with you, when she first pulled into that parking lot, I thought I was busted because a lot of people will pull over and like call the cops and wait for the cops to come. And so I thought I was like, oh man, I'm busted. She knows I'm following her. But really, she just parked there to hide from Mr. Penguin so she can go get in his car and get him on his pickle. And yeah, brown chicken, brown cow.
Good for Mr. Penguin, I guess. Man. Well, another doozy.
Another doozy. I'm telling you. As
always.
It's wild out here. You guys, if you guys have stories like this that you want to share, these stories that we learn about from our guests are just, they're riveting and they're interesting.
Cathartic.
And it's just wild. And also you never know when like someone needs to hear what you have to say, because a lot of times it's just about people feeling alone, right? That feeling of alone is where a lot of sadness comes from. And so if you share your story and other people connect with it, they just feel less alone. So you never know who you could empower or inspire.
Plus, like I said, Mackenzie often didn't realize that her PI stories were interesting at all. So you might think your stories... Exactly. And they're the best. So you might think your story's not worth telling, but trust me, it is.
It is.
And we do a lot of, if there's like a shorter story, we're going to do more of those on Patreon. We already shared about our Patreon. You should join, $5 a month. We're doing a live every month. It's fun. And you can email us at investigate, unless Mackenzie wants to try it. Do you know the email?
No, go ahead.
Investigate at thedatingdetectivespodcast.com. Somebody commented about how they love that you still don't know the email.
Yeah, I was trying to find his Instagram. He posted
they posted
on Instagram.
It. That was so funny.
He posted a story. King Clayton _41 on Instagram said, shout out to Freedom Barbie for still not knowing the email address. So thank you, King Clayton, for shouting me out for still not knowing the email address. Now it's just a thing. Now I never have to know it because now it's just a thing. Because, well, see, what had happened was we switched the email address because we wanted the Dating Detectives podcast, but it was taken. And so we just did like Dating Detective Pod or something like that. And so then we finally got the email address we wanted. And then our producer was like, hey, we got the new email. And then ever since, and I was like, I don't know it. I can't do this. And then Hannah wrote it down on her board so that when we record, all she has to do is look at it and it's there. And I did not write it down on my board. So now until the end of time, Hannah has to know the email. And I don't have to know it. So screw all of y'all.
That's okay. You have the stories. That's our contribution. It's amazing.
Much fun.
Also, if anybody's DM'd us and we haven't gotten back to you yet, we will. We just got a lot of people responding to the latest episodes and we love all of them. But it's not personal. We love you all. We promise.
Yeah, we really do. Anyways, I love you guys.
We love you, Manic Mackenzie.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Please also share the Dating Detectives podcast with your friends and like share our stories. And we really would appreciate also a 5-star review wherever you listen. It really helps our podcast and helps us to grow. So we appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good Monday. We'll be back next week. And as always,
trust your fam tuition. That should be like an outro song. We should make it a jingle. It's fine. Probably don't. Just trust your fam tuition.
bye.